right, so this next person on the list, coming in at fifth, he is the only person on this top 10 list that this is the only person that I didn't vote for that's coming in here. A man that I think is overrated.
Wow.
And God, uh, Bobby, Max, and Hunter or the Mountain had them all fourth on their list. I don't know why, but Brock Lesnar. Bobby, you have the floor.
I would say by far the most intimidating superstar of all time. This man is about 6'3", 6'4", about 280 of solid muscle, athletic, one of the most athletic superstars, especially for a man of his size. And just don't have him talk. He just don't have him talk at all. His voice is not intimidating. He is a great seller. He can make anyone look like $1,000,000 in the ring when he cares. That's the big thing with Lesnar. If he cares, he can make anyone look good. If he doesn't, the match is not going to be good. As many classic feuds, he has it with Undertaker, John Cena. I'll even put Triple H's feud up there. I mean, the man could do it all. He's one of the most knowledgeable people about the business. He knows it's all about the money with him. If you don't pay him, he don't show.
Yeah, no, Brock Lesnar is a genius in that regard. He knows his worth. Obviously, with the UFC, made him much more valuable commodity. But no, definitely one of the smartest superstars in terms of doing the least amount of work and getting the most money.
Willing to pay him.
No, he's a big enough star to where that I mean, what else? Like, you don't want him going to a different company, so of course you're gonna pay him.
Max?
I'll say Brock Lesnar. He makes wrestling as real as it could possibly be. Just ask Randy Orton about how real Brock Lesnar can make it. But like Bobby said, and we talked about with Goldberg, he brings the intensity. I think he even brings it more so than Goldberg. But I love his matches. Not every single match, but again, like we said, when he cares, he can really make it work. He did it with Goldberg. He's done it every single time he's been in the ring with Undertaker. Both Hell in a Cell matches from pre-UFC to post-UFC were classics to me. He had a match of the year in WrestleMania with Kurt Angle. Even if they had a concussion, he still finished that match. Nearly killed himself, but he had some good matches with John Cena. Even he had a good match with Roman Reigns. I know critique about him is after the Suplex City run, he's kind of had the same match over and over again. But Ric Flair had the same match over and over again, and people don't complain about that. So I think it's all right. But I just love it. He just brings it, and he even this past of Royal Rumble, he made Keith Lee like $1,000,000 by just his facial expressions alone. So I think he just everything he does, I think he has it down from the wrestling to the selling. Yeah, $1 million man right there.
Hunter?
Mountain, you got anything?
Yeah, I mean, he is. I'm gonna go a step above you, Bobby. This man is the best athlete wrestling period has ever seen. A man his size should not move as quick as he does. They should not be as. I mean, he tosses Big Show like he's made of. Made of freaking paper.
We all knew he'd be the first one to break the rule. We all knew it.
Repeat what you say. repeat from the start.
I mean, he just tosses around Big Show like he's made of paper. It's just really impressive. And the way he's treating WWE nowadays, I mean, he's like the in-game boss. And so, like, it's just beating him, I mean, it means you've made it. I mean, just ask Drew McIntyre, ask Roman Reigns, ask Seth Rollins. I mean, he's a kingmaker pretty much. I mean, you beat Brock Lesnar. I mean, you're top dog now. And I don't know. He's the best heavyweight out there.
And even if you don't beat him, having a match with him in general, most of the time, push you up. He don't wrestle just anybody, You pretty much gotta earn it.
All right. Vitamin J.
Before you, I'm tired of your disrespect on Brock Lesnar. Every single time we see him, I'm just sick tired of your disrespect of the man.
I'm gonna let you go first.
I mean, what's your problem with him? You got a personal problem with him? You don't say it to his face.
I'm gonna let Vitamin J go first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and explain why he's not on my list.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Because you're an idiot.
Okay, book the straight.
Yeah, I still get a little
That's
salty about
why.
that. I still get a little salty. Yeah, I mean, he's really good. Obviously, it's just I think the other people I have on that list are better. In terms of you know, he has great charisma. Obviously not the best on promos, but in terms of manager wrestler duo, it's hard to. Well, I guess Paul Heyman won't call himself a manager; he calls himself advocate. But in terms of combination like that, it's hard to beat that. The only one that can come close is probably like Bobby Heenan. But I mean, he was able to leave, crossed over in the UFC, and win a title there and become an even bigger name. Other wrestlers have tried that, such as CM Punk, and it ended miserably.
Oh my god, what a disgrace!
But no, I like him. He's great. It's just I don't have him in my top 10. I mean, there are plenty of good matches. Like I mean, even today, his almost annual Survivor Series matches. AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, and stuff like that. Really good matches. Even after Suplex City, when people say Lesnar just does the same thing over and over again, he still puts on good matches. The only one that was like really, really bad was the Ambrose one, but there's reasons for that.
Yeah. I think Bobby raised a great point. I think Jacob's just mad that Lesnar ended the streak.
All right, here's my thing with Lesnar. I will also say part of his career. So I started watching WWE like late Attitude Era. Kind of fell out for a little while. Came back in. So I kind of missed certain parts of his career. I didn't miss parts of Lesnar's career. I will say, athlete, amazing. I will probably agree, greatest athlete, like pound for pound, greatest athlete to ever wrestle. As a WWE wrestler, it's amazing. Switched over to UFC like Vitamin J said, and was amazing in that. My thing with him, I will also say this, I don't think he should have ended the streak. I will put it up there.
I agree.
I think he could have been other wrestler. I understand it was good for Brock Lesnar because he was an established wrestler that you didn't want somebody who might not ever live up to the hype, but I felt it should have been somebody else. If you're going to end the streak, you should have done it with CM Punk. You should have done it with somebody who was more up and coming. I didn't think it should have been Brock Lesnar to end the streak. That is just personally me. I just didn't think it should have been him. I felt you could have used that moment. If you were going to end it, you should have used somebody who was up and coming as their big moment. For me,
Roman Reigns, that could have been one.
That would have been cool. Oh my gosh, the fans have hated that. But my other thing with Brock Lesnar, and this is just he doesn't it's just not as exciting for me. I'm sorry, it's just not. When he comes and shows up, he's a great wrestler, top 20. I don't know. It's just he's never done it for me. I don't know. I'm constantly pulling against this guy.
Absolute hater, man.
It's just his mic skills. Maybe it's because he doesn't have the mic skills. I don't know what it is. He just has never done it for me. And over, I've watched his matches. Suplex City was great. When he said that was hilarious. He's good, but he just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I can't explain it. He just doesn't. I try. This is also not me trolling. And it has nothing to do with the elected God thing, by the way.
You say that, but I don't believe it.
No. I disliked him before that, and you all know that. I disliked him before that. That just added to it. But I don't know. It's just he's there. He's good.
I think it's because he made your boy look like a jobber.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, he makes Cena look like nothing. So we're going. Yeah,
you're right, man. Look like nothing.
Oh my God. He just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. You guys, congratulations. But one of my top 10 favorite wrestlers, no. If I don't see him wrestle again, I think my life will be fine.
Phil, you raised a good point, at least for me. You said that you find yourself constantly pulling against him. As much as I, think Brock Lesnar's cool, most of the time when he's doing like a match nowadays, we usually will pull for the other person. So that's excellent.
Not once in my life I pulled against my man.
I'm trying to think the last time I actually wanted Lesnar to win. Maybe it was Roman Reigns, but that's probably the last time.
I think it's when he faced Seth Rollins. That was like the last time. Long ago.
No.
So, you all know. He just does. I don't know. He's great athlete, great. I think him and Lashley would be actually pretty cool match, but
I'm hoping they do it. Hoping they do it.
the other
But
people
then
I had, they entertained me more.
But then again, even if they do it, I'm still pulling for not Brock Lesnar. I'm pulling for Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, they just entertained me more.
And next time, don't refer to Brock Lesnar as a great athlete. Just say great. That'd be good enough for me. Thank you.
or Beast, as he wants to go by. But,
Well, I mean, is he wrong?
no, he's not wrong. He's a beast.
Anybody else got anything about Brock Lesnar?
No.
I'm trying to think of the match I would recommend. I'd probably recommend him
Any
versus
match,
Kurt Angle. Well, yeah, any of them. Either Hell in a Cell against The Undertaker. Him versus Daniel Bryan is really good, and obviously Kurt Angle. That's probably the
and then,
ones I-
like we mentioned earlier, Eddie Guerrero in that match.
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero. The return when his first match against John Cena, I believe at Extreme Rules. Even though he shouldn't have lost that match, but still, it was a good match.
Well, I mean, his match with CM Punk was really good.
Yep. So I mean, he a lot of good matches. You will have a lot more easier time trying to find a bad Brock Lesnar match than than a good one. So.
That triple threat with Seth Rollins and John Cena was very good.
Oh yeah, great match.
That was good. All right,
Yeah.
so next one coming in at number 4. This is actually the first person that was on everybody's list. It is none other than the Macho Man, Randy
Love it.
Savage, coming in with 25 points. I forgot to say Brock Lesnar came in with 22 points. Randy Savage was ranked highest by Jacob. He came on your list as 5th. So,
Yeah.
Vitamin J?
I
All you.
mean, I wish I could have put on higher. Macho Man had everything: charisma, promos, in-ring talent. One of the best managers of all time, Miss Elizabeth. He's iconic. He's still relevant to this day. People still put him on social media all the time. He's great. One of the best characters of all time. But total perfect package. I've said this many times with you guys, but I easily have him over Hulk Hogan. Just not even close. Great matches. Him and Steamboat is great. And then even in WCW, he had good matches. He did a lot to help put over Diamond Dallas Page when Diamond Dallas Page was starting out as a wrestler. DDP always says he wouldn't be where the heights he reached in WCW, he wouldn't have reached it without Savage. The elbow drop, his elbow drop is the crispest looking elbow drop you'll see. Until later in his career, he couldn't really land on his hip, so he would actually elbow people. There's a match where he hurt, he broke a lot of ribs on Charles Robinson, but I mean Macho Man's great. One of the most iconic catchphrases of all time. People still remember him even for stuff non-wrestling related, like Slim Jim.
Or in the Spider-Man movie.
Spider-Man, yeah, Bonesaw. I'm honestly, I wanted him higher, but 5th is not a bad spot at all.
All right, I'm going to go with Max next. You had actually 7th? No.
No, 7th is right.
Yes.
Well, Macho Man has one of the most iconic voices in WWE history. I mean, almost anybody can do some sort of imitation of him. Is that notable? But also, it's hard to do this, but he actually put up a decent match with Ultimate Warrior. Unfortunately, he had to deliver 10 elbow drops and lost, but it's still not hard it is very hard to put up a good match with Ultimate Warrior, and he did a decent job of that. One of the best matches of all time, at many people's list, is his match with Steamboat, WrestleMania. Everywhere he goes, his promos leading up to the match with Hulk Hogan are some of the most iconic you ever see. He has some of the best promos using props, coffee creamer, trash cans, just anything, man. The guy had it all, man. It's a shame that we weren't really allowed to witness his run really until the end of WCW. But it has been fun back and looking at his matches, I mean, he was excellent. He had it all.
You could easily kill like half an hour to an hour just watching Macho Man promos.
All right, Bobby.
Beautiful elbow drop from the top rope. A lot of people tried. CM Punk did a version that was terrible. Macho Man, picture perfect elbow drop. Great promos, some of the most iconic promos you'll ever hear. And like I said, his outfit, his attire, very colorful, iconic. You can recognize him in an instant. And he stood out from a crowd, and he should have had more than one world championship run.
He did. He had 2.
I'm talking on WWE, Jacob. Okay.
Yeah, he's 2-time champ in WWE. He was a one-time
was
Intercontinental
on
champ.
No,
No, he
that's
beat.
Intercontinental.
Yeah, he's one-time Intercontinental.
I'm about world heavyweight
You
champion.
want to?
We fact check here. I'm just
Nerd.
Well, you said Intercontinental. That's not the world championship. Last I checked.
No,
No,
he had
he's a-
2 WWE runs.
He's a one-time Intercontinental champ, 2-time WWE
Yeah.
champ. He beat DiBiase and Flair for his title.
Yeah, yeah.
Fact check.
I didn't realize he was a 4-time WCW champion. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
realize
Well,
that's
they were handing that belt hot potato near the end. I think he had like 2. I can't remember if he had 2 one-day reigns in WCW. I had to look, but they were very short reigns, most of them.
Mm-hmm.
And he was very good with
While
the
you
Macho
look that
King.
up, the
Yeah, he had 2 one-day WCW title reigns, and then one of them was like 20 days, and then another one was like it was another like 20, 30-day reign. So all of his title reigns in WCW were short, but yeah, you know. No, I could see why you could easily overlook missing him winning 4.
Mountain, you can go.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be too long-winded with it because I mean, y'all pretty much nailed it on the head. But I mean, he's just one of the best wrestling characters of all time, and that's never going to change. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I got to say because y'all pretty much said everything I was going to say.
And Phil, you did say he was on everyone's list, or was he on everyone's list?
It was on everybody's list.
It would have been a crime if,
Yeah.
if you didn't put Savage on a list. On
Nah,
your
man, I've
list.
always loved Savage.
Who's next?
He was on all of our lists. I had him
And-
ranked the lowest with 8th.
He did
Go,
a whole
Jacob.
rap. He did the
Diamond
whole
Jacob.
rap. He did the whole rap album dissing Hulk Hogan. I mean, come on.
You know that knocked down eggs in my book.
That's awesome. Check it out.
But yeah, again, like they all said, iconic promos. Macho Man Randy Savage, R.I.P. I had him lowest at 8th, just because, again, like all of us, we were just after it, so I had to really. It was later on, I had to watch some stuff, but great guy, great promos, great in-ring ability, amazing matches, and that's all I pretty much got to say. Everybody kind of hit the nail on the head with him. So, you guys ready for the third one?
Ready.
Yes, sir.
Coming in at third with 25 points, none other than the real American Hulkamania. He was not on the person's list, and we all know the one person who didn't put him on the list.
That is a crime.
And other person put him at 10th on their list, Bobby. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch it up. I'm gonna let Vitamin J go of why he was on the list. Then Mountain, I know he's your favorite wrestler, so I will give you the floor. So first Vitamin J, then the Mountain.
I mean, okay, Hulk Hogan. All right, there's a lot to say about Hulk Hogan. All right, you know, good on the mic most of the time. Even when he's bad on the mic, it's still memorable, like the apple pie strap match and then the backstroking. But anywho, one of the best of how to work the crowd. He knew how to work the crowd, fire him up. But he's just not. He's not anywhere near my top 10 in terms of total package.
Anywhere near?
Anywhere. No, if I did top 20, I don't know. I'd have to
Are
even
you
look at it.
serious?
I kid you.
Oh,
I
hot
kid
take.
you.
You're out of line.
Flair of his generation, Flair and Savage easily over Hogan, and I dare say I might put Piper above him as well.
Wow.
Um,
Have you lost your mind?
Okay,
No,
so
I
Jay
have
obviously,
not. I just,
lost his
I
mind.
guess it's a hot take in here, but that's just,
Hot take.
I like Hogan, but it's just I don't like him
Do
nearly
you?
as much as you guys do.
No, I like him. He
Not
just sucks.
nearly. NWO was great.
And he says he's not part of the IWC
Yeah,
with
yeah.
takes like that. Okay.
Not top
No,
20.
no. If I consider myself a member of that, I would say I hate Hogan. He's this and that. No,
It sounds like you do. If he's not in the top 20.
I don't. He might be. I haven't gone that far. I'm just saying there's a possibility. Anywho, okay, fine. I probably spoke a bit too presumptuous. He probably would be if I sat down and wrote him out. But
Check now.
no, I mean, well, we'll have to talk later. I have to think of other wrestlers. But anyway, I was just there are I mean, I know you'll say this about like other wrestlers like Flair, Cena, but like you've seen one Hogan match, you pretty much get the general gist of what you're gonna get. There are times where Hogan didn't put people over that I thought he should have put over, but
It's like any wrestler at the top, though.
any wrestler on the top is gonna want to protect their spot. I know, like even people like Cena, where he didn't put over the Nexus when he should have,
Or Bray
Right.
Wyatt back in the day.
or Wyatt, but I don't know, man. He's just I just don't think as highly of him as other people.
Now, I wish I did have a number 10 on my list.
Yeah, you basically had him on the chopping block, so
Yeah, but he still made it. Now, my reason is for him being number 10 is I couldn't think of too many iconic matches with him. Obviously you got Andre at WrestleMania 3.
You got
You
The
have
Rock.
him losing to Goldberg in WCW. He had the most iconic heel turn. I'll give him that. It's just his matches. He wasn't a match guy. He was more, storyteller. He was one of the greatest storytellers of all time.
You say he didn't put on matches. He is a 4-time Match of the Award winner. Just saying.
According to who?
I don't know. It's on Wikipedia, man.
All right.
I'm
Mountain,
curious.
let's-
So I mean, is it my turn? I'm chomping at the bit, man. This is ridiculous.
Oh, you're
Slander
probably
my
doing
man.
that.
I mean, this guy, he's clearly the best wrestler, the most important wrestler of all time. There's no debate, none whatsoever. He's the best face WWE's ever had. He knows. I mean, he like Bobby said, he's one of the best. I mean, he could work a crowd like no one else. And then he turns it around in WCW when his All-American character's getting stale, and he turns heel and becomes a leader of the best faction wrestling's ever seen, the NWO. And then he's even better at working the crowd. I mean, people hated Hollywood Hogan, hated him, and he just killed it. I mean, and then all of his legendary matches. I mean, you said him and Andre, of course, but I mean, one of the best crowd reactions of all time was him versus The Rock. I mean, that whole match was iconic. Now, I know people say he wasn't the best wrestler, but again, he didn't have to be for what he was. I mean, and then I also like how they treated the top dog back then. Like, you didn't see Hulk Hogan. I guess kind of like Brock Lesnar is nowadays, but you didn't see Hulk Hogan on wrestling every week. It is a event to wrestle Hogan, and I think that's kind of the way they should kind of do these things. But again, I mean, just Hogan, there's no debate, best wrestler all time. Having him off your list or 10 on your list is just a slap in the face.
So Max, I found that it was Pro Wrestling Illustrated with the 4-time Match of the Year winner, and I'll tell you which ones that he won. It was for WrestleMania 1 versus Mr. T and Roddy Piper. Obviously not a good wrestling match spectacle. Then him and Andre, him and Ultimate Warrior, and him and The Rock. So those are the ones that they had.
I'll agree with him and The Rock. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I would disagree with the rest of. Well, I would have to see what matches happened those years, but all right. Just wanted to clarify on that.
Also, best finisher of all time.
No, no,
Disagree.
stop.
That's a debate for
And-
another day. That's a debate
Hey,
for another
we'll
day.
do that. That'll be another list.
And he deserves one more run with the belt, by the way.
Stop.
All right. So I had him ranked second highest. I had him third because, like Hunter said, when you talk about, yes, wrestling to me is more than just how your in-ring ability. It is character. He was, first of all, the first ever good guy character. They eat your Wheaties, say your prayers. The like when I look at John Cena and I look at like John Cena, Daniel Bryan's, all these faces, Hulkamania was
Carbon
the first.
copies.
Like that's what I go back to. Hulkamania, everybody cheering for him, the all-around good guy. Even his song "Real American." One of the biggest names in the business. People know who Hulkamania was. Just kind of like, yes, his in-ring ability wasn't the most flashiest, but you know what? His mic work, his ability to make you care about a match, him and one thing I will also bring up, him versus Macho Man Randy Savage, their whole storyline with Miss Elizabeth, that was still entertaining. I will knock off some points because, yes, there was, I think it was when he came in after Yokozuna beat Bret Hart, him and he comes in and takes the belt from Yokozuna, kind of like, really? Did you really need Hulk there? Like, that was kind of it. I will say that WCW does one of the craziest things ever, especially as big of a face he was and who he was, to turn heel knowing and having that confidence, because not many wrestlers would do that, and still being as great as a heel he was. He was almost as good as a heel as he was a face, and that is not an easy feat to do. And anybody who knows wrestling will tell you it's not an easy feat to do. NWO, greatest faction of all time, and still was the leader, still performed on anything, and that's what I think transformed is he can be a heel, he can be a face. You still wanted to watch Hulk Hogan, even though not the greatest matches, but guess what? He made you actually want to watch his matches and care about his matches. So when you saw him, it's amazing. He's still electric to this day. I'm going to go to Crouching Tiger over there. That's Max. Because he had him fifth, so he'll probably be a little more like central in his opinion of Hulkamania.
Like I said, he's more than in-ring work. Because at the end of the day, Dean Malenko is one of the best wrestlers that's ever been, and he's never going to be on anyone's top 10 list. So you got to have more than just the wrestling ability. And before The Rock overtook him, he was the most iconic or most notable wrestler in history. The Rock has since passed him, but I mean, even to this day, I mean, WWE or wrestling in general would not be the same if he never had that run with WWE. So, and I think he's had some pretty decent matches, better than he gets credit for. I mean, not 5-star or anything, but certainly watchable.
He can wrestle when he he has put on good matches. Like I said, there are matches in Japan that he's done where he's actually done a lot more stuff that you normally don't see him do. Like he would do like Insiguri's in there, and you normally wouldn't see Hulk Hogan do that now. So I just want to clarify it.
I will say it probably was more of Vince McMahon's doing why he didn't wrestle as many doing the classic stuff.
It's probably that, and it's also you don't have to take all those bumps when you have that character. So the longevity of your career also when you don't have to do all the flippy stuff.
Don't forget his work as Thunderlips in Rocky 3. Just because we brought up movies earlier. Pretty good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite Rocky movies.
Probably the worst wrestler turned actor though, like acting.
It happens. But like we said, Andre the Giant, the huge moment for WrestleMania 3. Also, you got to think about WrestleMania is only as big as it is now because of Hulk Hogan. Like, yes, that whole him. He probably didn't have the greatest match in the world as a main event, but it's what his character brought. WrestleMania is now such a big spectacle. No Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania would not be what it is today. And the McMahon family was about to go broke on that if WrestleMania did not work. So, got to give him a major credit. Golden era. If not for him, WWE is not nearly what it is now. And even what he did in NWO and WCW, it's because WCW was so good that WWE had to pick up its game and really so he kind of also affected that. Anybody else got anything else to say about the Immortal One, Hulkamania?
He did a really good job in Epic Rap Battles of History versus King Jong-un.
About that.
All right. So we're gonna go into honorable mentions because our 1 and 2 are gonna kind of figure it out.
Yeah, we know who they are.
So kind of a couple honorable mentions coming in with 10 points. The Nature Boy, Rick Flair.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Jacob, you had him second. Bobby,
No.
you had him 8th.
Are we the only two that had Ric Flair on a top 10 list?
He just
I'm
He just
offended.
never mind.
I am offended to be in a chat with people who do not
Bro,
think
it's
as
just-
highly
I
of
mean-
Ric Flair.
Every
just
regular
looked-
match the same. Now, great promos.
Aren't you a Hulk
absolutely
Hogan
goat
fan
promos,
and you just said every match is the same and you like Hulk
Well,
Hogan?
but it's different. It's different.
Okay. All right.
Trust me, bro.
Yeah,
Trust me.
That explains it. That explains it.
Oh, it's all clear now. Thank you.
I will give him great. He has one of the most iconic lines that's used by athletes and a lot of other people have used. But he just missed it. He was 11 for me, or 11 or 12, just right out there. Next one, these two people actually only made it so high because of Max and myself, because we ranked them as our second favorite. John Cena and Kane both came in with 9 points. I will go first on John Cena, face of the Ruthless Aggression era, face of WWE for so many years. No matter what, that dude performed. You cared when John Cena was out there. When you heard "My Time Is Now," you got excited. Doctor of Thugonomics. He was still a good heel. Yes, should he have turned heel later in his career? Probably. But still, John Cena was just all around entertaining. I enjoyed him. Still to this day, I'll defend him. You might say Cena sucks, but guess what? You actually care when Cena arrives. You care. He
Cena
makes
sucks.
you feel one way or another. I don't care. And one thing I like is Cena's fine with getting booed, because not a lot of people are when they're the face. He's fine with getting booed. He doesn't care. So, Max, I'll let you go on Kane for real quick.
Well, let me add to Cena. Cena is going to be looked more fondly as time goes on now that he's not wrestling as much. I think people will be more kind to him.
Sure. Max?
Well, with Kane, I'm mainly talking about his 97-2002 run. I really, really loved the Mask Kane run. That was one of the best long-term storyline and bookings they've done to build up his character before he debuted in the Hell in a Cell match when the Undertaker Shawn Michaels Hell in a Cell match. That's some great long-term storyline. When he debuted, that's one of the best debuts of all time. The only one really in comparison, maybe Chris Jericho. But that debut is iconic. And his look, I just love his look. $1 million to me. And again, 97, 2002. All the way up till he had the half mask. That's what I'm talking about. Unmasked Kane, I still liked, but he's not in the same era as Masked Kane. But I just love. Growing up, that's when we watched him. I loved every single second of him on the screen because every little thing he did, I thought meant something. The little head tilt, I thought he played a monster and did it well. And I thought he had some pretty good matches with wrestlers of different sizes. He's had plenty of good matches with Undertaker, and he had a great feud with X-Pac. I thought that was pretty good. And he's big, agile for a big man. And sorry, Jacob, I just think he's better, or I like him better than The Undertaker. I know The Undertaker is better if I was listing best wrestlers, but sorry, that's not this list, Jacob.
Kane's fine if Kane's career was mostly the 97 to 2001 Kane with the full mask. Kane would probably come close to cracking my top 10. But now I will say he should have had longer than just a one-day title reign back in the Attitude Era.
For sure.
But no, I mean Attitude Era Kane was just phenomenal and ripped to the gills.
Best man ever, man.
Yeah.
All right. So that's gonna be all the ones we're gonna hit.
Hold on.
honorable mention.
No. How? I know we're missing a name because we have two. How is Kurt Angle not higher on y'all's list? Where is
Dude,
Kurt
he
Angle?
was on my list. He's like,
He's on my list, yeah.
Okay, so we're
He was. Okay, so Bobby and I both didn't. He had a total of 8 points. Max and Hunter had him at 7th. Jacob, you had him at Max and Hunter had him at 9th. Jacob, you had him at 7th. Bobby and I didn't have him on our list. He was just right there. Like you said before, it's a tough business, man. Tough business. Top 10 favorite. Right? We can't let.
Am I the
everybody
only
in.
one?
There is one we have to cut.
Phil, the moment of truth. Who is number 2?
hold on. Am I the only one that has Scott Hall or Razor Ramon on my list?
Yeah.
What?
You,
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Okay.
If this was best.
Okay.
If this was best gimmicks, Razor would be there. But yeah.
Yeah, make it.
But
All right.
so let's go on. So this is the moment of truth. There are 2 big names we have not said, and let me tell you. So Hulk Hogan had 25 points. These next 2 came 1 point apart. 42 points and 41 points. So it is close. Ladies and gentlemen, do we want to talk about them separately or together and kind of say
Together.
who?
We
I mean,
knew
you
that.
can't talk about one without the other anyway.
Yeah.
Okay,
Who's
ladies
2,
and
who's
gentlemen, coming in with 41 points, second place, The Rock, Dwayne
Oh
Johnson,
my second. Are you
Unbelievable.
kidding me?
Unbelievable.
Steve Austin,
Yes.
That's a
it's
crime.
Rattlesnake comes in number 1. Oh man, I'm gonna go ahead and start taking it.
I'm
When
gonna
you
say that
talk-
the counting was rigged. I'm gonna need someone who is can actually count.
Both
Tally
of these
these up.
wrestlers were on all of our lists. So Macho Man, Rock, and Stone Cold were on everybody's list. What put Stone Cold over was that Max and I both had him at number 1. And Bobby had him at 2. Hunter had him at 3. Jacob had him at 6. The Rock
Rock was 4th
Rock-
on mine. I'm pretty
Bobby
sure.
had him at 1. Hunter, you had him at 2.
That was-
Max
that
had
was
him at
two, yeah.
3. I had him at 4, and so did Jacob. So really, it was the fact that Max and I both had Stone Cold at number 1.
Jacob, man, you let
The
us
reason
down. You
that I
let us down,
put
Jacob.
Stone Cold-
I'm sorry.
Oh, the reason, let me go. The reason I had Stone Cold number 1 is when I first got into wrestling, Stone Cold was the man. When you talk about the Attitude Era, which I think is the greatest era of wrestling, it is Stone Cold was the face of it. Because the Attitude Era also ended with who? When Stone Cold joined Mr. McMahon. The thing is, when you hear the music and you see the Texas Rattlesnake walking down, you just I get excited. I know when I hear
Hell yeah.
if you can smell, I get excited
100%.
too. Stone Cold has the iconic lines. We all remember Austin 316. We remember his feud with Mr. McMahon, which I think is the greatest rivalry of all time because it was to us, the fans, of the little guy, the man having to face their boss because I think a lot of us have a point where we kind of get annoyed with the authority. We want to just face and go against them and give them trouble. It didn't matter what this guy was meant to be, face or heel, he was always going to be loved. People, even when he was a heel in his run with the McMahons, people still liked Hulk. People still like Stone Cold Steve Austin. You think about him versus Triple H in 3 Stages of Hell. Amazing. You think him versus Rock all 3 times at WrestleMania main eventing. These 2 were electrifying. It was right that when WWF went against WCW in that alliance versus WWF or WCW, ECW, that it was only right these 2 ended the match together. It was going to be these 2. What Stone Cold just didn't more is because of the presence. Stone Cold was just the guy. He always had an amazing character. I think he was one of the first times where WWE just embraced who he was as a person and let him go with the mic. Beating HBK at WrestleMania to win his first ever title, him versus Bret Hart was when he really started getting over, when he passed out when Bret Hart slapped a sharpshooter on him. He passed out in that match. It has the most amount of Royal Rumble wins. Has several King of the Ring wins, 6-time champion. It is the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the greatest wrestler of all time. I enjoyed it. I'm so happy with it. All right, Max, I know you're chopping at the bit, but I gotta let one of the Rock people go first.
I'm about to say, can I go, please? There is
Handle it.
there is no cooler superstar in WWE, well, in wrestling history than The Rock. No one oozes cool like The Rock. I mean, the most electrifying, the best promo in the business. I mean, and had the wrestling ability, and the way he came back from his original Rocky Maivia run to turn into this amazing wrestling character. I don't think anybody will ever repeat it. Roman Reigns is doing his thing, but he's still no Rock. I mean, I can't really think of any The Rock feud that didn't, sell $1 million. Rock Goldberg, Rock Triple H, Rock Stone Cold. I mean, all the Rock Mankind. I could do them all. Face, heel, it didn't matter. This man, he just made it work. He's the second best.
Yep. It's great. It showed an example of where he was really, really bad as a face because of the blue chipper gimmick. People were chanting "Die Rocky Die," and then they did what they should have done with Roman Reigns, as we're seeing. They should have turned. They turned to Rock heel, and then he started getting great crowd reactions, and that's finally what they did with Roman Reigns. Now Roman Reigns is finally, getting really good, and then I'm certain once Roman Reigns turns face, he'll be more well liked because of it. But yeah, no, Rock Nation of Domination, Rock Corporation, everything. I mean, it was more than presence. It was, as he would say, electricity. Rock is better than Stone Cold.
That's false. That's false. That is false. According to this list, he's not. And Stone Cold will have the reign. The Max, please set these guys right. Please tell them why Stone Cold is just better.
Well, I'll start first thing first. Without Stone Cold, we'd be talking about WCW right now because without Stone Cold, WWE would have folded. If Stone Cold did not exist, but The Rock still existed, WCW would have failed. That's how good Stone Cold was and how much he was needed. But Hunter said something about no one's ever turned a bad gimmick to a good gimmick like The Rock, or Rocky Maivia to The Rock. What about Ringmaster to Stone Cold? I mean, that's greater to me.
They weren't chanting "Die Ringmaster Die." They were chanting "Die Rocky Die."
Well, I mean, that's good for him. But I mean, this is Ringmaster Stone Cold. You don't get better than that. The man just had the promos. His iconic Austin 316 at King of the Ring. His beer bath with McMahon. The concrete and the Corvette. His feud with Bret Hart is one of the best feuds of all time. I will say 97 Bret Hart. If Bret Hart was 97 Bret Hart through his whole career, he'd be on my list. That's how good he was.
Same.
But his promos are excellent. And then even to this day, fans, when someone is talking on the mic, they'll still do the what promos. Even Austin's heel run, which was nowhere near as good as his face run, obviously, it still wasn't bad, though. I think it gets a worse rep than it really gets, because he had a feud with Kurt Angle when he was a heel. It was a great feud. A great tag team with Triple H. The 2-power man trip, something like that.
Yep.
I thought it was 2-man power trip.
Yeah. And if we did a list of best finishers, which we may do in the future, Stone Cold Stunner would most certainly be on it. And I wish Kevin Owens would stop doing it because he's not doing it justice.
He does it fine. He's not, obviously it's not Stone Cold.
It's not Stone Cold, but it's just not good. I won't start.
I mean,
and I think with Stone Cold, like you get with Hulk Hogan, they try and recreate the whole authority versus the little guy. It just does not work. It doesn't have the same pop. I mean, I know they had it with Daniel Bryan, which got him over which was huge, but it still did not have the same feel because even Stone Cold's character, when you look at his face run, he really was not a face. He wasn't a baby face. He was just so loved and adored. He was kind of more of an anti-hero type of deal, and people just still adored him. Just the whole gimmick, the whole character, it just worked. Bobby, I'll let you go.
I mean, first of all, you talk about catchphrases. The Rock has some of those iconic catchphrases of all time. I don't need to repeat them. You already know what they are. Then the eyebrow raise. He epitomizes cool. You think of cool, you think of The Rock.
He's so cool they named a show after his catchphrase.
Exactly. SmackDown, that is one of The Rock's saying. And, you know, he had iconic feuds with anyone. You know, Hogan, Stone Cold. And may I say, Rock won the last matchup, I believe.
Yep.
So that
He's
really
2-1. 2-1 versus Stone Cold at WrestleMania.
Just the
Both of the
last
times
one.
Stone Cold won. Just throwing that out there. 2-1.
The Rock won the last one. And last time I checked, Stone Cold is not this major movie star like The Rock is, because, you know, he just didn't epitomize the cool factor like The Rock does.
That has nothing to do with wrestling, sir. That has
Nothing at all.
That just
Nothing to
speaks
do
to
with
his
WWE.
charisma, though. That speaks to his charisma and how great he was with the crowd. I mean, both are obviously great with the crowd. You can't have the Rock or Austin would be where they were without the other. It's definitely if we ever did a list of like best feuds, I'm sure that would be number one on all of our lists, or like McMahon Austin. Those would probably be the top two. But you know, great rivalry, great matches. But I just think the Rock's been just the edge.
I will give The Rock this. I think the Nation of Domination, though it can never be replicated just because of how it was done, they'd have to heavily change it, is one of the greatest factions, is a very underrated faction. Just, it was really good. Well done with The Rock. I'll give him credit with him turning his character around, which again goes to his ability, but I still feel Stone Cold was just better. Stone Cold, I think, was one of WCW's dumbest mistakes is ever letting him go. But thankfully they did because I don't think he would have reached the heights without it. So that is it. So if anybody else has anything else to add,
No.
Charlotte Flair should have been number one. No, I'm just kidding.
You're wrong.
I'm kidding.
Flair was I think it was like 3 on mine. I mean, come on, guys.
I like her a lot.
mm-hmm.
Obviously, the two that you guys said is top 2, I agree with though.
So thank you guys for watching this first episode of the Core Discussions as we went through our top 10 list. Just to repeat the order: number 1, Stone Cold; number 2, The Rock; number 3, Hulk Hogan; number 4, Macho Man; number 5, Brock Lesnar; number 6, Triple H; number 7, Undertaker; number 8, Goldberg; number 9, Eddie Guerrero; and number 10, HBK. So just go ahead. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead, comment, leave comments, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Core Discussions. Let us know what you think. And if you have any ideas for us, let us go ahead, leave them there in the description box below. Like they always say, like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications so that you can see when we have new content drop. My name is Phil. You can also call me Legacy. You can also follow me at wisdom_legacy on Twitter. If any of you guys want to, Max, where can they follow you or find you?
You can find me on Twitter. I think it's Max_Derringer, DERRINGER, but it's mainly just Eagles stuff. So if you don't like the Eagles, then you probably won't like my Twitter stuff.
All right, Ian, where can they find you?
Just to cover my legal bases, just be 17 plus if you go to my channel. But my channel name is Ian and Lesbian, and I make a lot of like anime. I make my own song covers. I've been playing Resident Evil 8 right now, so I'm having a lot of fun with that. So if you want to check me out, my YouTube name is Ian Lesbian. Thank you.
Okay, Bobby, Vitamin J, do you guys have any?
I don't have any social media, but you can just call me Bobby or Bobby D3. But as of now, I don't have Twitter, Instagram, none of that.
I'm not on social media, but I do have a Twitch channel. I don't stream anymore, but if I ever were to pick it up, that's be where you find me. Same name, Vitamin J, on Twitch. That would be where you would find me.
All right, thank you guys all for watching, and thank you for standing here. Catch you all next Monday for our next show. as we talk, as we go into our next core discussions. See you guys all, and outro, take us out.
赤い夕日と青い愛情と黄色の希望を力に無限の未来を心に抱いて仲間を信じて駆け抜けていこう
Just stop it. Stop. No. Just stop.